First of all, let me congratulate the team Triply MBs for receiving the adult sponsored FDP, and I also take this opportunity to thank Professor Leena Thomas for inviting me for this technical session. And the topic for today's discussions is nanotechnology for energy storage applications. And this presentation is divided into three portions. In the first session, I will discuss about the introduction to nanotechnology and applications of nanotechnology in various engineering fields. In the second session, we will discuss about nano-enhanced EV batteries. And the third session is related to my research, that is nanotechnology application for energy storage, mostly in capacitors. And nanotechnology, as the term indicates, it's the technology of nano-sized materials. When we change the dimension of the material to nanometer size, the chemical, physical, electrical, mechanical, almost all the properties of the material will change. So utilizing this, we can improve the performance of devices, applications, etc. in various fields. That is actually the nanotechnology refers to. And nanotechnology is all about the size of the material, and 1 nanometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 9 meters. The figure shows comparison between human hair and a nanofiber of 100 nanometer size. This human hair is 1000 times bigger than the size of the nanofibers. And in the next diagram, nanometer size DNA, 2.5 nanometer size DNA is compared with bacteria, which is of 2.5 micrometers, that is 1000 times as that of the DNA. And a small water drop is of size 2.5 millimeter, which is 1000 times as that of the bacteria. And nano material or nano size is referred as the size between 1 to 100 nanometers. The material size in any one dimension is less than 100 nanometer, that material can be referred as a nanomaterial. And 1 angstrom, the atomic scale is in, the 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to minus 10 meters. That means the nanometer is very close to the atomic or molecular scales. And what is the reason for the new and excellent properties of nanomaterials? And the properties of the nanomaterial vary very much compared to that of the same bulk material. The main reason is because of the increase in the surface area. In this example, a 1 centimeter size cube is shown. Its surface area is 6 centimeter square. When it is divided into cubes of 1 mm size, the surface area is increased to 60 centimeter square, and again it is split into nano size cubes, 1 nanometer size. We can see that the total surface area is increased 60 into 10 raised to 6 centimeter square. So more atoms are exposed to the surface. So in chemical reactions and all, more atoms can participate. That is the reason, the main reason behind the different properties of nanomaterials. A particle size of 30 nm has 5% of its atoms on its surface, and a 10 nm size particle, 20% of its atoms is on the surface, and for 3 nm size particle, 50% of its atoms are on the surface. So surface area to volume ratio is large, so more atoms can interact with the surroundings. And van der Waals force plays an important role in defining the physical properties of the material. It is the attractive force between atoms or molecules, and it is responsible for most of the material properties such as crystalline structure, melting point, boiling point, surface tension and density. And in this figure, this gecko sticks onto the wall due to the van der Waals force between the feet and the wall surface. And in the nature we can see the application of nanotechnology. Actually in the feet of the gecko there are rows of sticky leaves called lamellae, and each lamellae, if we are inspected through a microscope, we can see that there are lots of dendrites, and the tips of the dendrites are of nanometer size. So more surface area is there. So the van der Waals force acted upon will be more. That's why the geckos can safely stick onto the surface of the walls. And again, some differences in properties and interesting properties of copper, aluminum and gold are mentioned. When the size of the copper is reduced to nano size, the opaque material will become transparent. For aluminum, in nano size, the aluminum will become combustible, and gold is insoluble. It's not soluble in. It's not a soluble material, but it will tend to soluble if its size is reduced to nanoscale. And the graph illustrates the variation of melting point of copper with size. And when the size reduces below 100 angstroms or 10 nanometer, the melting point is changing, it's decreasing. And till now, till the emergence of nanotechnology, we are thinking that the material constants are constants always. We cannot alter the material properties like melting point, boiling point, etc. But the nanotechnology, due to the applications of nanotechnology, we can manipulate such material constant, and we can tune to the required values. Again, difference in properties. Here the color variation is shown. Cadmium selenium nanocrystals of 2 nanometer to 7 nanometer size, when illuminated, the color varies from blue to orange color. And again, the energy band gap also varies with particle size. And in history also we can see the phases of development of nanotechnology. In the 4th century AD itself, there was evidence of development of nanotechnology. A Lakergus cup, which is housed in British Museum, London now, when it is illuminated to light, it appears green in diffuse light and turns to red color in focus light. It's because of the nano gold mixed with the glass. And by manipulating the positions of atoms in the material itself can be changed. For example, if we are able to change or rearrange the positions of carbon atoms in coal, we can convert coal to diamond. And carbon nanotubes are the promising candidate or an outstanding candidate among the nanomaterials. It has many excellent properties and a vast area of applications. It is 30 times stronger than steel, but 1/6 of the weight. And electrical conductivity is 6 times as that of copper, and it is also having very high current carrying capacity. These are the different types of carbon nanotubes: single wall nanotubes, multi-wall nanotubes, and nanotube ropes and or bundles are there. And this slide also explains the excellent properties of carbon nanotubes. The tensile strength is improved very much. The strongest iron material, when we compare it to iron or steel, the tensile strength of carbon nanomaterial is many times as that of the steel. And current carrying capacity also increases. And another property is resilience. We can fold the nanotube in any angle, and it will be re-straightened properly after folding, and heat transmission is good, temperature stability is good, and field emission properties are better, its density is less, even its density is lesser than that of aluminium. And nanotechnology spans many areas like mechanical engineering or robotics, information technology, advanced materials and textiles, energy environment, aerospace, medicine, food and agriculture, national security and defense, transportation, and many more areas. And let us discuss a few of the applications one by one. The medical applications of nanotechnology. Current researches are going on in developing, and actually there are already developed fluorescent biological labels. The nanocrystals are developed as fluorescent biological labels, and magnetic nanoparticles can be used in the dye by scanning and all. And nanotechnology has applications in tissue engineering. There are DNA chips, nanorobots, respirocytes, NEMS, nano electromechanical systems can be used as cell repair machines. This figure shows a nanocrystal used as a fluorescent biological label. It's very helpful in scanning. And respirocytes are a mechanical artificial red blood cell which can replace damaged red blood cells, and which is able to deliver 236 times more oxygen to the tissues per unit volume than the natural red blood cells. And now you all are familiar with MEMS, micro electromechanical systems. Now the NEMS or nano electromechanical systems replaces MEMS with the very minute size lesser than that of a human hair. Such electromechanical systems has many applications like biotelemetry, drug delivery, precision surgery, biosensors and other physical sensors, diagnostics, gene sequencing, drug discovery, pathogen detection, etc. And these figures show nanorobots. They are useful in treating tumors, life-threatening blood clots, accumulation of scar tissues, arterial blockage, localized sites of infection, etc. And this illustrates the removal of diseased cells or cancerous cells from the blood. The entire tumor or the damaged cells can be enclosed in a nano box and can be destroyed. And next is nanotechnology applications in civil engineering. It's mostly in the materials cement and concrete. We can add nanoparticles to improve the properties of cement. The mechanical properties and durability of cement will be improved. And titanium dioxide nanoparticles added to concrete to reduce harmful gas emissions. Coatings or paintings also uses nanotechnology, and nanomaterials added to the paints can improve the properties, can be used for improved scratch and mark properties. And antimicrobial self-cleaning surfaces also can be formed. There are smart coatings, smart paints in which sensors are incorporated. Nano sensors are incorporated which can be used to sense pressure, impact, damage, heat, light, etc. This figure shows a nano titanium dioxide coated self-cleaning glass. It's available in market. Next application is in photovoltaic. The photovoltaic cells or solar cells, the silicon can be replaced with nano titanium dioxide, which greatly increases the efficiency of the photovoltaic cell. And nanotechnology also has applications in fire retardants. Nano additives or fire retardants the property will be improved very much when they are added as nanoparticles. And polymer nanocomposites filled with clay, carbon nanotube, etc. possess improved flammability resistant properties. And carbon nanotube based membranes for water desalinization and nanoscale sensors to identify contaminants in water system. So also application of nanotechnology in the civil engineering. And next is applications in mechanical engineering. As mentioned, NEMS are there, and nano robots, nano fluids, coolants, lubrication oils, and fuel. All these areas, the nanotechnology can improve the performance of the materials. And applications in electronics, nano electronics. There is a specified branch called nanoelectronics in which the devices are constructed in the size of nanometers, and the memory chips, the volume, the memory density of the memory chips can be improved very much if it is constructed in nanoscale. And carbon nanotubes can be used as nano-emissive display panel, and molecular size transistors are developed which will significantly increase the transistor density in the integrated circuits. And here comes the applications in electrical engineering. The application of nanotechnology in electrical engineering is mostly in dielectric materials, and the specified area is called nanodielectrics. And nanodielectric material, the term was first used by T.J. Lewis in the year 1994. That was the first published work on nanodielectrics. And the dielectric materials with either with nanostructures or nanomaterials embedded in the existing material. Both are coming under the material of nanodielectrics. And mostly they are used as electrical insulation, where we can improve the breakdown strength of the material, permittivity, electric field distribution. Such electrical properties can be varied by converting a conventional material to a nanomaterial or a nanocomposite. And they are also used in energy storage applications, energy storage devices like capacitors. And nanotechnology applications in electric vehicles is illustrated here. Nanopolymer, nano inclusions in the lubricants, catalyst nanomaterials, nano coatings, nanoparticles in the tires, nano sensors, and polymer nanocomposites for making the body, and nanomaterial in the fuel cell and battery. Such almost all parts of the vehicle, the performance can be improved by applying nanotechnology. So we have covered the important applications of nanotechnology in various fields of engineering, and now we move on to the next session, nano enhanced batteries for electric vehicles. You all know the most performed batteries used in electric vehicles is lithium-ion batteries. It replaces almost all previous technologies like lead-acid batteries and all. And the advantages of lithium-ion batteries, it's having high energy density, lightweight, long lifespan, fast charging, low self-discharge, and temperature tolerance. This is the diagram, a simplified diagram of a lithium-ion battery. The anode is made up of graphite, and cathode lithium metal oxide. The metal can be any metal like cobalt, iron, etc. There is a separator, it's a polymer, polyethylene or polypropylene, and the electrolyte is a lithium salt. The working of lithium-ion battery. This is just we will check how the lithium-ion battery works, and next we will discuss about how the performance of the lithium-ion batteries improved using nanotechnology. This shows the charging of the lithium-ion battery. During charging time, the cathode consists of lithium metal oxide, and when the external power supply is connected or battery is connected to charge the system, the lithium metal oxide decomposes into lithium ions, and this Li plus is moving towards the anode, graphite anode, where the electrons are accumulated from the source. The source pumps electrons to the anode, so the lithium ions are moved towards the anode, where it combines with the electrons, and lithium carbide is formed. So the surface of the anode is completely coated with lithium carbide. When the entire surface is coated with the material lithium carbide, up to that point only you can charge the cell. So charging is over. These are the chemical reactions. At cathode, lithium metal oxide reacts with lithium metal oxide. Cathode, lithium metal oxide decomposes to lithium ions and metal oxide, and electrons are released. And at anode, these lithium ions combines with the electrons obtained from the charger, and lithium carbide is formed. And these excess electrons in the cathode flows towards the battery, and the cycle of electron flow is completed. And when after charging, when we connect a load, what happens is the reverse processes will taking place. This anode, when we connect these electrons, excess electrons present in the due to the potential difference between anode and cathode, the lithium ions will get released or decomposes from lithium carbide, and they are ready to travel back to the cathode, and then the electrons present in the anode will move towards the load, and the electron flow will be completed like this. So the electron flow will be reversed when the load is connected, and again the lithium returns back to the cathode and combines with the metal oxide, and lithium metal oxide is formed. This process is repeated cyclically during charging and discharging. It's very simple. It's very similar to lead acid cell. And the nanotechnology for EV batteries. Why we are using nanotechnology for improving EV batteries is it has enhanced properties like higher energy density, faster charging rates, improved durability, and it's more safe. Reduces risks like overheating and dendrite. Dendrite formation means some strands like formations will be taking place on the electrodes that can be avoided if we use nano coating or nano sized particles in the electrodes. The first method is carbon nanomaterials in the electrodes. Usually already mentioned, graphite is used as an anode, and a layered structure is used in the graphite using graphite micro size graphite powder. And in nanotechnology, using nanomaterials, the carbon nanomaterials, we can replace this micron size graphite powder with carbon nanomaterials to form the intercalation material. Intercalation structure is shown in the diagram. This structure is used to improve the surface area so that more lithium ions can fix to the material. The current density and efficiency will be increased because according to this high accumulation of lithium ions on the surface. Next technology is nanophosphate technology. Here also the cathode surface area is increased. Nanophosphate structure, nanoparticles are used, or there are spaces between the particles where the lithium ion can fix. So the surface area increases and more lithium ions can be accumulated on the electrodes. Thus the current density or charge density can be improved. This is silicon nanowire anodes. This is used to increase the surface area of the anode. The graphite anodes are replaced with silicon nanowires. As it is of nano size, the total surface area will be very much high, and more and more lithium ions are able to stick onto the surface, and the charge density will be improved very much. Next is lithium sulfur batteries with nano coatings. Nano coatings on sulfur cathodes help to improve the energy efficiency or charge density of the battery. Next method is graphene nanosheets for fast charging. Replacing the graphite with graphene nanosheets. The nanostructure, the surface area is many times higher than that of the graphite anodes. So the current or the charge capacity will be increased. Next is iron-based nanoparticles for sodium-ion batteries. Nowadays, researches are going on, and the sodium-ion technology is emerging, and there are many advantages for sodium-ion technology over lithium-ion technology. And in sodium-ion technology, even the performance can be further improved by adding nano iron particles to the electrode. These are the important or main methods or nano enhanced techniques used in EV batteries. And the advantages of nano enhanced batteries is higher energy density, faster charging, longer range, more eco-friendly, less risk of overheating, and higher efficiency. The rest of the topics or presentation is based on my research on polymer nanocomposites, nano dielectric materials, and these materials can be used as energy storage material. We can fabricate